Hey everybody, it's Jimmy and Bill. So today's video is about, will the housing market roar back in 2024? You know, basically there was an article about it, and we're going to talk about it and give our opinion on it. All right?
All right.
Let's do it. Hey, if you like these kind of videos, do me a favor, consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel. So let's get started. Affordability is expected to improve a bit in the year ahead, according to Realtor.com, the 2024 forecast. At the very least, it says our economists don't anticipate the market getting more painful for buyers who have been grappling with the worst affordability challenges since the 1980s. Go ahead, Bill. That was a long one.
Whew. Man, all right. I don't know about the word roar back. I think that's a bit of an over-exaggeration, to be kind.
Yeah.
But I do think that the economy, or the housing economy, is going to stabilize.
Okay.
Little by little throughout the year. Now, obviously, we don't know. We don't have crystal balls, and we can't predict the future, right? There's a lot of factors. However, just off of the data and things that the Fed came out and said at the last meeting, it's good conversation. Things are going to start to retract a little bit. We've already started seeing interest rates retract a little bit based off of the comments made during the last Fed meeting. So those are all positive things.
Yeah, so basically it continues on. So basically it kind of says what you just said. While the market will stabilize, it's expected to remain challenging, according to Realtor.com.
Yep.
The annual forecast predicts home prices will remain high, mortgage rates won't retreat as much as people hope for, and move-in ready homes will be desirable in certain areas.
Okay.
But they'll still be scarce.
All right, so when it says home prices won't retract as much as people hope for, that's kind of a ambiguous statement. It's like, what are you saying there? How far back do they? Everybody wants to go back to 2 and 3% again. Just unfortunately, the likelihood of that happening is very, very, very slim. But we will see a reduction in interest rates, just as we have recently again. But what we're all looking for, what really people should be looking for, is stability. A gradual decline in interest rates, because that shows a solid market, versus this dip in interest rates that we just had. Again, dips up, dips down, that shows volatility, and we don't really want that. We want to get back to, even though this was a positive one, we want to get back to that stable market. Home prices are still going up. Despite everybody saying that they're not going up, they are still going up. And at the end of the year, the national average is still upwards trend. So it's
what's your prediction?
That prices are going to continue to increase. We're getting back into that normal market where we see price reductions, and that's fine, because that's normal. That's what I would expect. I would expect price reductions from time to time. That's back to a stable, normal market where there's some negotiation on either side. And I think we're going to continue to see a trend upward on home prices, just like we have been. All
right, let's hear what they have to say about what you just said. Everybody's ready for a stalemate in housing to be over, says Hale. But the pieces aren't in place to that just happen just yet. Okay, home prices are expected to fall. Let's get right to the good news. Home prices are expected to finally come down in 2024, but don't break out the champagne or panic just yet. Prices are expected to tick down only 1.7% nationally. That's not enough for a decline to offer most buyers a meaningful financial relief.
Right, and they're being a little bullish on their predictions that we're going to retract by 1.7% in 2024 overall for the entire year, is kind of what that's saying. So that's an average. That's taking markets that are still going to increase. Like right now, Florida is increasing. There's other states where the market is retracting already, right? So you're going to add them all up, and then they make the average of up or down. So it still goes back to the market and where you are and where you're going to be. You have to look at the specific market itself.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see what else they have to say. The slight reduction will also give incomes a chance to catch up to these high prices. Typical home prices rose about 6.5% a year from 2013 to 2019. Does that seem a little high?
That seems a little high.
6.5%? Yeah, that's what the article says.
Okay.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, many home buyers couldn't save fast enough to keep up with the increased prices. And the new year will effectively hit the pause button. That's true. Prices, because as people are trying to save for a house,
everything's going up in price. It's
the value of the house, so they couldn't save fast enough.
Yeah, because everybody's not earning enough money to keep up with the rate of increase. I mean, look at how much, just in our area, how much we increased over the last 2 years.
Let's talk about this one. Mortgage rates will retreat a little bit retreated a little bit. It says mortgage rates will retreat a little in the past 3 years. Rates have risen from a high of 2% to the mid 7% range, according to Freddie Mac, for a 30-year fixed mortgage. That's resulted in typical mortgage payment more than doubling over the same period. That's a true statement. Yeah,
that's a true statement. So they're taking the COVID low, right, at 2%, and then they're painting a good picture that, oh, we went up to, well, actually, we really went up to 8%. But we're starting to retract back. Remember, if the national average prior to COVID was right around 5.5-ish, give or take, for almost a decade. We bounced around in there as the national average. It was a little lower in a few years, and it was a little higher in a few years, but that was about the average over a decade. So for us to be able to get back into that number is normal.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, let's see what else they say. The Realtor.com Eco Team anticipates rates will be about 6.8% for a year and fall to about 6.5% by year's end. This is about the 1/8 of a point lower than rates were last week, 7.29 according to Freddie Mac, but still much higher than the 4% historical average between 2013 and 2019. Were rates 4%?
I don't ever remember seeing rates at 4%, but
I mean, this is exactly right from the article.
Yeah.
I'll post the original article below. Buyers making a national median income in 2024 are expected to spend an average of 34.9% of their earnings on their housing payment, going down to below 30% by year end. That's better than this October, when buyers spent 39%, but still much higher than the 21% they spent between 2016 and 2019. See, that's the thing that kills me, is spending almost 40% of your income
on housing. Yeah, but
I can't comprehend that. And
it's pretty normal.
Is that net income or is that gross income? I'm assuming it's net.
I'm sure it's net. Who knows how they write? They only count gross when it doesn't benefit you.
That's insane.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for housing, but that's kind of where we're at, and we've started to cycle. It's even, I would say, I'd be willing to bet that that's even a little. There's probably a little more into your overall housing expense, not just that 40%. I think it's a little higher.
Really?
It's just because taking into consideration everything, at least here, the rate of increase for our homeowners insurance, repairs, appliances, materials, all those kind of things that go into home maintenance and everything else that goes into owning a home is up. So it almost feels like there's more. Look at the cost of an air conditioner now.
Yeah, because they made all those stringent. Yeah.
Right, they changed the rules, or the rules that are starting to come out now. So we're starting to see crazy increases in air conditioning replacement costs.
Yeah. All right. The housing shortage will be even worse. The largest pain point for many home buyers the year ahead, besides their bank accounts are squeezed.
I don't know.
All right, let's read this more to make more sense of that. The number of existing home sales for sales expected to fall by 14% in 2024 compared to this year. Existing homes excludes new construction. That makes sense. They're not going to count new construction. Do they count it?
Depends on the stat that you're pulling from, different companies.
But some
use different
stats, they don't count new construction.
Right, because they'll make it a very specific statement if it's existing homes.
Yeah, so basically this article continues to say the problem is high mortgage rates are prompting many home buyers to stay put. About 2/3 of homeowners with mortgages that have rates below 4%, and more than 90% have rates less than 6%. There are little incentives for those folks to sell, especially when purchasing a newer home at a higher rate. You know, have a much higher cost each month.
Yes, so there's a lot of data out there about that right now, and there's so much chitter chatter going back and forth as to what's going to happen with existing home sales. Are we going to fall because we're pretty low this year, you know, comparatively? But if you think about it, when we get into the interest rates retracting a little bit over the next year, you know, to 18 months, that's a positive thing. And then don't forget that more than 40% of American households have no mortgage.
What is it?
More than 40% of American households have no mortgage.
Really?
Yeah, I saw it in an article that came out today, and that makes sense that they don't have a mortgage, so they're not affected by interest rates.
Yeah.
You know, because they can sell and then they take their equity and they buy.
Yeah.
So, or they stay put, but you know, there's always a demographic that moves. And then you go into the new, I see this article is not taking into consideration the new construction. So it kind of makes sense that maybe we will fall. I don't know if we can just arbitrarily put our hats on to, oh, it's 14%. We have nobody has an idea. These are economists. They're speculating, which that's their job to kind of figure out the health of the market. But you know, we don't even know. We're not even in 2024 yet. So you know, we literally just had the interest rate announcement 2 weeks ago. So we need to kind of see where things are going to go and let everything stabilize out and see what happens.
Well, they're saying rents will get a lot cheaper. Or get a little cheaper. Sorry about that.
I'm like, wow, that's bold.
Yeah, I know. As the housing market has priced many would-be buyers out, many have forced to remain renters for longer.
I agree with that.
Okay, that left them vulnerable to landlords who have been steadily jacking up the prices over the past few years. I heard rents are going down a little bit, not like crazy.
Like if you look at, I just pulled some data on rents in our area here, and depending on what city you're in and kind of where you're at, we came down maybe 1% just locally. You know, 1%'s not really, you know, we had a retraction of, it's not much. It's not much in the grand scheme of things. However, you know, what I foresee happening is because of the increases in our homeowners insurance, you know, the owners of the rentals are going to have to increase at some point because the cost of insurance has gone up significantly this year.
All right, this is a different article. So this is Zillow says homeowners will change their opinion about one important thing next year. And then here's some bullet points from it. 80% of mortgages have interest rates below 5%.
Wow.
Zillow says more homeowners will list their houses for sale in 2024.
So is that conversive to what the other article
That's what I'm just
said?
saying. That's what it's two different opinions.
So you see, this is where it gets into the information. It's just ping-ponging back and forth right now, and nobody really knows.
No, nobody knows.
At the end of the day, nobody really knows. If you need a house and you can afford a house, buy a house.
If you could afford it. All right, so here's some more bullet points from this article. That's why we're trying to show that, you know, everybody's all over the place.
Yeah.
The Federal Reserve recently indicated it may cut interest rates next year. That's true.
That's true, because we talked about the Fed meeting and that they were not as bullish.
More than half potential home buyers are waiting for lower mortgage rates or for housing prices to fall before considering buying. I think that's true.
Yes, to an extent.
I heard from a lot of people, they're like, yeah, I'm going to wait till prices drop.
Right, but the problem is, at least here, the people that I've had clients from years ago, well, we're going to wait till this and we're going to wait till that, and they've never purchased because everything continues to grow in price. And you can, the stats are in. I mean, we're at the end of the year. We're a couple days away from, you know, 2024 at this point, and the prices are up. Everything is going up, particularly in our area. So waiting for prices to come down and waiting is only going to, you know, you might get a 1-2% interest change, but then your house is $50,000 more, you know, if you wait 2 or 3 years down the road to where everything starts to stabilize out. And you know, you can refinance your house, but you can't get your price of the house back because you're continually growing equity every single year.
Yeah.
Even if you have a little slight tick down, it only, like we've said in our past videos, it only matters if it goes down if you sell it when it's down that week.
Yeah. All right, let's continue. All right, here's another prediction from this article.
Okay.
The company's 2024 housing market predictions report says that homeowners will get used to higher interest rates and will be more willing to list their homes for sale.
I agree with that.
People are going to get used to the high interest rates.
Yeah, that's normal.
All right. The average transaction price for a home is $431,000, a massive 27.7% increase from just 3 years ago. Wow.
I agree with that.
But if more homes hit the market in 2024, prices could fall as home buyers have more options to choose from.
I got swampland.
Okay.
I just don't see I don't see the number of houses coming onto the market in the mass that's going to affect it like that. And just in 1 year, it's just such a short period of time.
All right, let's hit some more bullet points. If the Federal Reserve cuts rates and then homes could potentially be more affordable. For example, a $350,000 home with an interest rate of 6.7% cost, about $2,376 per month, assuming they put 20% down.
Right.
But the same home with the interest rate of 6% would be $127 a month cheaper.
Correct.
That's really not a lot of money.
Right, but
that's a cable bill.
Right, but there's people that are, you know, when you start to really work out the numbers, that's what it boils down to. And that's why I always say, no matter where you're at, what market you're in, sit down and speak with somebody. Speak with a real estate professional, speak with your mortgage person, get on a conference call and talk to them about the real numbers. You know, because you're going, oh, well, 6.7 to 6 saves you $125. I get it, maybe, that's a lot of money to certain people, and you can't. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. It's just the way the cookie crumbles. But like you and I have always said, if you're on that cusp right there of non-affordability, please don't buy the house. Rent for another year if you have to. Do something to make sure you're a little bit more financially stable before you pull that trigger on the house.
All right, here's another article, and then we're going to finish up. Okay, this one is funny. U.S. economist predicts 2024 will bring the biggest crash of our lifetime.
Okay.
I won't even say his name. It says everything's going to be a bubble, is going to burst this year. Since 2009, it has been 100% artificial. Everything's been 27 trillion over 15 years. Basically, what he's saying is we're broke, the United States is broke, and everything's artificial. We just keep printing money.
Okay.
And he goes on and on and on, you know? So basically, because of all the money that we're spending as on the federal level. So my point is basically is you could wake up in the morning, read 3 different articles on your phones and have 3 totally different opinions about stuff.
Absolutely.
So the moral of the story is for 2024, I'll let you know what happens in the middle of 2024.
Just make a decision based on your own personal position and what's best for you, and not on the opinion of me or Jimmy or anybody else. It's not about our opinion.
We're just people like you,
right?
You know?
Sit down with somebody who has some experience in the specific realm that you're looking in. Look at the data and make the best decision for you and your situation.
Yeah.
Period.
The whole point with these articles is, like I said, just to show you that
it's all over the place. But
it's all over the place.
'Tis the season. It's the opinion season. It's always December.
All right. Thank you for watching the video. Do me a favor, just consider subscribing. It really helps out the channel, and I'm trying to grow the channel, and I need your help to do it. I appreciate it, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
See you on the next video. Thank you.
Bye.